Hello everybody and welcome back to Erndale's. Well, look where I am. I haven't been up here working in probably over 4 months, I'm sure. I decided not to use the studio for the winter because the windows up here are the only windows in the house that we have not replaced, and they're drafty and cold, and I didn't want to heat this area. It's a big space and I only sit in one area usually to work. So I made the decision not to work up here this winter, and I've been working downstairs in the dining room. But today I am taking it back. Now, having said that, it's going to take a lot to get it back because even though I haven't been working up here, I come up to get something, I take it down, I bring it up, and I just dump it on a table, or the piano's covered. Everything's covered with stuff that I didn't put away. So it's going to take some time to get it all back to shape again, but that's okay. So I thought today that we would work on my little hippie bag. I had to think for a minute what I'm calling it. Maybe I should call it a boho bag. Maybe that's more appropriate. So I have finished crocheting my hippie bag. This is all I've got left of the yarn of the 3 balls that I had. And it has made a bag almost the same size as the hippie bag that I talked about that I had as a young teenager. However, those bags back in the day, and again, if you're new, go back and look at the last video because we were talking about this. It's just a bag that all the girls, when I was in grade 7 to 9 probably, everybody had one of these bags. They were store-bought. They were wildly colored, just with a rope handle that was long enough that you could sling it over your shoulder. And it was just an open bag, you know, like there was nothing, there was no clasp or anything like that. And I don't really want an open bag. I want to actually use this as a purse or a bag purse kind of thing. So what I've decided to do is I am going to, just let me do this. I'm going to do this with it. I'm going to use it this way. So it's still plenty big enough in here, but I'm going to have this flap come over, and I'll just put a big wonky button of some kind. I've got lots of old fancy vintage buttons. I'll put a big button here, and then I'll just make a loop to hold it. And that's going to be the construction of my hippie bag. Look at the colors. They turned out really great. And again, this was just a yarn that I have no idea. Is it going to focus? I don't know. There we go. I had 3 balls of this. It's almost like a carpet. And then I added 3 strands of number 10 crochet cotton. And I just kept, as I ran off the ball of crochet cotton, I would just put another one on. So that's how I got this multicolored effect. The color change in here is all crochet cotton. That's the effect that it made. Whoops. And I really like this. However, if I remember correctly, the hippie bags that we had as young teenagers had some kind of a black lining, and I think that was sort of like a stretchy material. So in keeping things true and honorable, I thought I would try and find some stretchy material. Who has stretchy material? You ask? I do. So I went in my stash, and I actually don't have very much. I thought I had more than I found. So this is the stretchy material that I found. And it is very thin. You can see through it, but it is very stretchy. So what I'm going to do, I just want something, I don't really want a heavy lining, a cotton lining or anything. I just want something to prevent maybe something going through these. You know, when you crochet something like this, it's pretty tight, but maybe a key or the end of a pen might go through that. And I would just rather have it lined. So I'm going to just cut this to fit the whole piece, and I'm just going to hand stitch it on, and then I'm going to hand stitch it closed. All I have to do is hand stitch from here to here and here to here, and then the bag is made. And I was talking to you last time about, I don't have it was a rope, a kind of a twisted rope that was on the original bags that we had as young teens. I couldn't find a cord. I didn't have one, and I don't want to buy anything. This was the point, is to use up things that I had. So I decided that I'm going to macrame a cord for around, and probably even for, well, I'll show you what else for. So I was digging through some more stuff, and I have found more things that I want to share with you in another video. But honestly, every time I open a drawer that I think that I've gone through, obviously I have not gone through it, and I find a bunch more stuff. But in this case, I found something pretty useful. I found this. Now, I don't know what this is. It is, just going to show it to you. It's very strong. It's not cotton. For sure it's not cotton. It may be, I can't, there's no tags or anything on any of them. But I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 balls of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make, I think I'm going to take 6 strands of it and do some macrame, and macrame myself a long thing to go around my purse. And I thought I would do that here with you. So I'm going to set myself up with my macrame board, my old macrame board, and some T-pins, and we're going to do a little bit of macrame. Now, I have to figure out how long I need. I'm going to do some measuring first. So I'm going to stop the video, reposition myself, get myself on the table so you can see what I'm doing, and I will be back. So the first thing I got to do is I have to measure this and see how long this is so I can figure out how much of that string I'm going to need. So this is 25 inches long. So I think I'm going to measure out, well, I think I'll go 4 times as long as this. Maybe even 5 times as long. Just to give me extra. I mean, I can always add on if I run out, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to use this and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, why don't I do 6? 5, 6. No, let's do 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. And somewhere I have a pair of scissors. So I'm going to do 5 more like that. And I'm just going to do it this way. I have not done macrame in a long time. I used to teach macrame actually back in the 70s. That's 2. And you know, back when it was the rage, I did a lot of macrame. I did a lot of custom pieces for people. And I'm looking for the picture of the piece that I did for my sister-in-law. I can't remember, 1976 maybe. That's, how many pieces is that? That's 3. I need 3 more. I went to British Columbia one summer. It was before 76 because I was still in nursing school, and I went to BC for the whole summer because my sister-in-law was expecting my niece. And I spent 1 month with one brother and his family. And then I went over, when the baby was due, I went over to the other brothers. And I spent the other month there. And during that time, they not only had a new baby, but they moved from one house to the other. And actually, they started to move before the baby was born. And my sister went into labor the day that they moved. They had just the moving truck had brought all the stuff, and she went into labor that night. So that was back in the time when, you know, women who had babies were in hospital for several days. So my brother and myself unpacked the whole house. I washed all the cupboards out, and washed everything. And I pretty much set her house up for her. So when she came home from the hospital, you know, it was all done. Well, not all done, but a lot of it was done. The majority of the important thing, like kitchen and bathroom and stuff like that, was all done. So how many do I have here? 2, 4, 6. Okay. So now I'm going to half this. No, I'm not. I'm going to go and get my board first. Hold on 1 second. So I have 2 old macrame boards. This one is really, really old. This is the one that I used the most over the years. And it's nice and easy to stick a pin into. This one is really difficult to stick a pin into. And what I've been doing with these boards is I use them actually to do my starching of my crochet things more than I use them, because I can, if I'm pinning out something that's flat, I can pin it into this board. This one is much better though, but I think I'll use this one for right now. And I have just looked high and low. I'm serious. I looked high. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. Looked high and low for my T-pins, and I can't find them. I don't know what I've done with them. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just use, well, maybe I'll use a safety pin. That might be a little bit better for right now. Just going to put that in there. Yeah, that should hold it, I hope. And I'm going to separate this into 3 or 4. Oh, I should have maybe cut some more. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be thick enough, really. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. I don't know if that will be thick enough. And I need to make a knot at the top here too. Okay, now I'll pin that. I don't know. The end piece will be like this. So I think maybe this is enough. I'm just arguing with myself whether or not I have enough for a thickness, but I think I do. So you want to separate this into 4 groups. And I think I'm going to do, I'm not going to do the square knot. I'm going to do the half knot, half square. Is that what it's called? Can't remember. And this is going to be in my way. So what I'm going to do, maybe I'll have to pull this way a little bit. And I'll bump you down so you can see what I'm doing. I just hope that pin's gonna work okay. No, we're gonna do it in 3. Or should we do it in 4? How many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll do it in 3. But I have a big knot here I got to get rid of at the bottom. Just bear with me 1 second till I get my cords separated. Oh, I have a big mess. Oh, deal. You know, when I have macrameed all my life, I never macrameed flat like this. I always hung it on something. I work better when it's hanging for me. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to, oh, this is not going to work. I got such a big tangle here. All right, I'm going to shut you off and I'm going to get untangled. The things you do for a YouTube channel. I put a hook in the ceiling and I'm just going to, I like to work better with it hanging down. Things don't get, they still get a little bit tangled, but not as much. Gravity helps you. So I'm just doing the half knot. And unfortunately, I can't bump you up. So you have 3 strands. I have 4 strands in each section. I have 3 sections. You bend this first section across the top of your, I'll put it down here. You bend your first section across the top of your middle, and you take the last section and you bring it up through the loop and pull it. And you do that same stitch over and over and over, and it makes a twisty little stitch like this. So I'm going to just keep doing it, and then I will show you. I can't pull too hard because that little hook I put in the ceiling it's a cup hook, and if I pull too hard, it'll pull right out of the drywall ceiling. Yeah, the things you do for a YouTube channel, huh? So you just keep doing the same thing over and over. And this is going to make a twisty, kind of a cord, much like a, oh, come on, much like a twisted cord would be. And I think it'll be about the right size too for my little bag. And I didn't measure how much I'm going to need. I'll just keep going and then I'll measure later. Yeah, so like I said, I've done a lot of macrame in the 70s and even in the 80s, and I've made table planters, and I made huge big wall hangings. I've made all kinds of plant hangers. I've actually made furniture too. If you take an old lamp shade, a big old lamp shade, you can make tables by macrameing around the shape of the lampshade, and then you add a glass on top and you have a nice little end table. I've done all that. Like I said, I used to teach macrame. I even had some of my own patterns that I created. But my biggest piece, I was telling you this before, was when I went to British Columbia that summer. My sister-in-law, there was a little craft store in the city where they lived, and we were in there, and macrame was all the rage. There was so many macrame books at that time, and she saw this book sitting there, and she liked the picture at the front of it, on the front cover, and it was a massive big wall hanging done in jute, and she decided she wanted it. And so she said, will you make it if I buy the materials? And I said, yes. And it involved very intricate work. There was rings in it. There was beads in it. There was all kinds of different, really intricate knots. And you used 2 colors. I think it was 2 or 3 colors of jute. One was natural colored jute, and then like a chocolate brown jute. And I think there was sort of a reddish brown, if I remember, or was it just the beads reddish brown? I can't remember. Anyway, this wall hanging was massive, and my brother made, with a piece of wood, like a long plank, made a hanger for it, and it was awesome. It was the biggest thing I've ever done in my life. It took me the better part of the month that I was there to do it. It was a lot of work. But in the end, she had a piece that was actually very, very unique. And I know she had taken pictures and shown people around. And I think at the time there was a bank that had just been built, and it had a big, big wall. And they offered her a sizable amount of money for that, and she said, "No, it's mine." But yeah, it was a big piece. See, this is making a nice curly little rope. I don't know if you can see that. I got my camera set up in a really strange way. I'm surprised it hasn't fallen so far. Yeah, this is going to be perfect. This is about the size that that rope was, but this is just more fitting for my hippie bag. Now, I also used to make belts, and I think I might have mentioned it in my last video that I had made a belt years ago, and I wore it out. And I was thinking I should just make myself another belt. And I do need a few more hangers too. So, but jute is expensive now. And where I live, there's not much macrame cord to be had now. I got something. There we go. So this is going to take a while. I will continue doing this, and when I have a nice long length of it, I will take it off my little hanger here and show it to you. But this is how you do the half knot. I have to say, I'm quite impressed with this fiber that it's making. And I'm very impressed with this, because I thought by now, with all this pulling through, that it would start to fuzz out, but it has not. This fiber is holding its shape really well. It's not fuzzing out. It's actually quite impressive. And you know, it would really make a nice hanger. I would need to use, you know, a lot more strings. Like I'd probably have to do that many for each twist, but actually it's making a really nice cord. I really like this. I might make some more just to have on hand for journals and things like that. That's quite nice. I like it a lot. So that's as much as I've got. I don't think that's enough yet, so I'm going to keep on going. And yeah, it's doing pretty well. I'm going to give my bag a quick measure to see how much cord I'm actually going to need. So I'm going to put it here. Just need a little clip or something to hang on to it. Just 1 minute. So I need it to run down the side, along the bottom, back up the side, and then I need some for the shoulder. So let's go like that. That should do it. Maybe a little bit more. How's that? So that is 56 inches. should have had this tripod set up before. I couldn't find it. It was downstairs. Because this is a little bit better for you to see. Of course, if you are working on a hanger, you will be working on several of these at one time. You'll be doing this one, then you'd go to the next one and you do a round. However many branches, or I don't know what you call them, that your hanger's going to have. Most have at least 3, some have 4 or 5. But you would be working on them simultaneously. You'd be going around and around and around. And you would have started from a ring, metal ring, as your first. All your threads would have gone on your ring first, and then you would have divided them up into your sections, and you would have gone from there. Maybe I will make a hanger one day if anybody wants to see how to do it. You've never done macrame before. I can use more hangers, and I've got all this really nice thread. So if you want me to make one and show you how to do it, I would be happy to do that. I just have to find a ring somewhere. So you can kind of see how this is going to be. It's going to start here and go all the way around the bottom, and then around the top, and then this part here, I still have, it'll go that much more yet, but and that'll go around the top. I think it's going to be really cute. I like how this is turning out. It's turning out really nice, exactly how I want it to look. And I'm going to make a matching cord for here, not so thick. I'm just going to make a thin one. When I find the big button, I have to go looking for a big button. So I am just placing this stretchy material on the bag, and I'm going to try and sew it on the machine. I don't know if my machine will handle it or not. I'm going to give it a try. If I break a needle, then I'll do it by hand. But we'll see. Well, my sewing machine wasn't having any of it, so I'm just doing a blanket stitch around, very casually tacking it down. It will be caught also when I stitch the bag together, so I'm not really worried that this isn't stitched with the machine. I couldn't even get this under the foot of the machine. It's way too thick. So I'm just blanket stitching around, and that'll do. It'll be good enough. Might take me a while, but not really. It's pretty quick. Okay, I've got the lining in now, so the next part is to sew up the 2 sides. So I just have to sew here and over here. Let's pop you down here and here, and then I can put the button on wherever I'm going to put it, which is going to be the last thing I do. So I'm going to sew this up, and then we are going to do the rope for the sides and around the top. Okay, for some reason I lost a whole bunch of video. So I waxed this. I have this thread. I don't know, somebody gave me this thread. It feels like about a size 10 crochet cotton. I think it's crochet cotton, but it's on a cone. I waxed it. It's quite old, I'm assuming. I'm going to try this. I actually have been trying it. I was videoing it, and I don't know what happened to it. It just, either I forgot to press pause, play. Anyway, I'm doing a blanket stitch along here. It's going really good, but it's really hard on the hands. I'm almost to the bottom of this piece. I'm having to tuck in my lining. I went a little bit too close to the edge here. I should have, I probably should have put it in more, but I didn't. Oops. It's done. That turned out good. I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to do the other side and then I will come back. Woohoo! Well, it's 3 days later and I haven't finished this bag. I sort of got a bit sidetracked. I haven't sewn this on, but I did get Gary to drill out this bottom piece here so I can attach this now. And I haven't made the little straps. So I will finish this bag and I will show you on my next video the completed bag, but it's pretty much all finished. But I got sidetracked. It was such a mess up here. Like I said before, I haven't been up here in almost 5 months to actually be up here and work. So I've been dumping stuff and it was so bad. And I just couldn't stand it. It was in my mind as I was trying to work and couldn't find things, and it was just such a terrible state. So I stopped what I was doing here and I decided to clean the studio. But for me, that means rearranging the studio. This is what I do. But then yesterday my back was so bad, and it's my fault because I overdid it. So I'll give you a little shot or a little video of what it was like, and then I'll show you what I've done. So this is the state of my studio after inactivity for over 4 months. I'm just going to go around and show you what it looks like. It's hideous. It's a mess. My desk is the only thing that's clean because I haven't done anything on it. Look at this table. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. And then I got stuff over here, stuff on the floor. Sewing machine's pretty clean because I haven't done anything there either. This is the biggest mess. So here we are. I'm at the top of the stairs. A little different here, not much. I made this a little smaller area because really this is just a sitting area watching TV, and this is my stitching table. So anyway, still a bunch of junk on the piano, getting there. I moved this trunk, which was over there, over here. This is full of fabric. And Gary has a spot to sit, and I have this is my old chair. And I moved my old computer up because that old computer has got, I would say 15 years of patterns and photos and music and stuff on. And I want to start organizing things a little bit. I've got 3 of these. I've got, I don't know how many iPhones, old ones, and I want to start using these older devices that I can no longer go on the internet with, but they've still got really good storage. So this little one I'm going to use as a pattern storage. So I'm going to put all the patterns that are in there. So when I'm looking for a pattern, I don't have to go running between a whole bunch of different things. So I've got my old computer set up. It also has all my music on. Like I have a huge iTunes library on there that I'm not even going to bother putting on anything else, but I am going to back it up into a backup drive so I don't lose it. And then I moved this over here. This is just a lot of my writing. I write poetry and books, and that's just a lot of stuff. There's a book there in progress. So here is where the big difference came. This desk was this way before, and I have to tell you, moving this desk is a killer, and I did it by myself. It comes in 3 pieces. This is one piece, the whole top is another, and then the end is another. And I think that's where I kind of overdid it with the back. So sewing machine is in this corner again. I always put it in this corner in the summertime. And my storage cabinets are over here. And the big change is my cutting table, which usually runs along here, is now over here. And it's there for a reason, because I have seedlings now that I'm taking out of the... I'm still using the greenhouse for propagation. I still have the cover on it, and it gets really, really hot in there. So it's really popping these little seedlings out. And I still have more that I want to plant to put in there. So until I have finished propagating and can open that up, I'm going to have seedlings all over the place. So I've got a bunch here now. And that's why I use this table. I bring things out and put them under the lights. And I've done this same procedure for 8 or 9 years now, and it works so well. So as things grow in there, I bring them out here, and then I put more in there. Eventually, this whole table will be completely finished, or full of plants. But this is just my little start. So I have quite a bit of stuff up, and I see there's more stuff coming up. Yeah, this is still a mess over here. Oh yeah, look at, I got, what is that? Pumpkin. Oh, that's the blue pumpkin. Oh yes, I'm so excited. Yeah, so when this stuff, there's a few things coming up in there, but when things get going in here, then I move them out underneath the lights, and then I put more in here. I'm going to be putting my sweet peas. I'm going to seed those today or tomorrow. So that is why I did not still have a pile of stuff here that I have to deal with. I still have a lot of stuff to deal with. This has to be dealt with. And I also noticed that everything is so unorganized, as far as I got fabric in boxes there. I got fabric in here. I got fabric in there. I have to deal with the fabric. It's actually making me nuts. But today I'm going to be at this desk probably for most of the day, because today I'm going to do our income tax. That's the job of the day. So got my desk cleared off, computer's ready to go. It's 10:31 and I am going to start doing income tax. Oh, yippee, yippee, yay. So there's still a bit of a mess, but once I get things put away and cleaned up, I'll feel better about things. I'll just let you have a peek outside. As you can see, it's still winter here. Not much of a hint of spring at all. So we won't look out there. So I'm going to upload this now, and we will get back to that purse. I will show that to you in my next video. I have some finished things to show you, and that will be one of them. So have a good week, everybody. I hope spring is where you are. And if it is, could you send it to me, please? I'm really anxious for spring this year. Okay. I'm going to sign off now. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye for now.